Hello and welcome to the 7th ever episode of the Neotaku podcast. Today I'm joined by David the Film, the David's Films, and Mirage Fan.
Hi, professional YouTuber, Marugaldes.
Oh, I wanted to do my bit.
David, do your bit.
I'm David Film and I talk about film.
Okay.
You're like the quiet kid in the back that's just like, hello, this is my presentation this year. Thank you. I like anime. Here's my Sonic OC.
Oh, dude. So today's topic is Sonic Forces, the game that has yet to come out.
If only.
Don't say that.
Oh man, here's the thing, right? I have high hopes for Sonic Forces because Chris Chan there is a possibility that because of that game, Chris Chan will go back to actually, making content instead of doing whatever she's doing now, which I think is just kind of, lying around and shittily photoshopping, images of Sonichu onto her house.
It would definitely...
And begging for money on Patreon.
It would definitely have been a lot more work because he has to do now a reddendum to his fucking Sonichu fucking video, and I would cry. I'd be so happy. That was
if you guys follow me on Twitter, you will know that I tweeted at Ben a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago that at this cosplay event at a nightclub, I saw a guy cosplaying Chris Chan, a sexy Chris Chan cosplayer. Yeah.
That's quality. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, not to get off topic, just one more thing, but
we haven't been on topic yet.
The one thing I like, honestly, about Sonic Forces is being able to make characters. Then again, I'm a sucker for character creation, so that's me. I can't wait to make my furry.
Oh man, I think we're all suckers for character creation, aren't we, David? And you like the Souls games.
Yeah, they're cool. Well, I mean, I like character creators in Tony Hawk and shit, but making characters, nah. I'm not that creative when it comes to game characters. I don't know why.
I've spent
I just make Sans. I just make Sans from Undertale now. It's my go-to character. I don't know why.
I remember spending hours upon hours as a kid in dress up games, and then I found out that the better dress up games were an IMVU and Second Life, and then I found the better ones were in Skyrim or anything else. I fucking moved on to there's custom made 3D that's a really trashy fucking game. Have fun downloading it, kids, but that I was I really like the character creation. Oh, there's sex in this. Skip.
Oh man, the Club 17 is the best for character creation.
On that note, just before we jump in, I just want to mention that on my second channel, there is a small log of my adventures in Second Life with my friends. It is called...
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that video.
My character is called Dingle Pringle, and it's the adventures of the Dingle crew. He's a big pink long boy. But yeah.
It's right up there with Concrete.
Alright, it's been 5 minutes. Can we please get into topic?
Yeah, so today we're talking about top anime short films, or just animated short films in general. Because we're all patricians, and, we like shit.
Joji is, because he's the one who actually, sees short films. Me and Mirage are just kind of here for the ride, apparently.
Yeah, but this will devolve into, the worst of the co-optional podcast, so it's fine. Don't worry. I'm ready for it.
Is this gonna be, the episode where, Jesse, drank the Iron Brew? Because that was, my personal favorite episode.
Which one was that?
It was, in the 40s, I think.
Oh, God, I need to watch it again.
Oh man, it was so good because he just starts screaming at people.
Chavo! I need to take a swig of fucking
We could not stay on topic for 30 fucking seconds. Holy shit.
I don't care. It's 5 in the morning. It's like life.
I think today's like the sort of bottle episode where we just sort of are in a room and things happen.
Locke left us like children at daycare and was like, all right, bitches, do what you want to do today. And I'm like, what do I want to do today? I want to fuck shit up.
See, I spent like a significant portion of my childhood. Where the fuck did David go? Holy shit!
We're rolling. We're just gonna keep going. You spent a like significant portion.
I spent like a significant portion of my childhood in like childcare centers, like after school centers and shit. Because both of my parents are teachers, right? And so they would never make it home like at a reasonable time to like pick me up from school or shit.
Sorry, I just like dropped out for a second.
Yeah.
Fine, we're being professionals. Keep going.
And so, like, there, I played through the entirety of the Subspace Emissary on, like, the Wii, you know, Super Smash Bros.
What?
And then,
what are
like,
we talking about?
And, like, I like, took care
You know,
of, like, babies.
When I edit this, I'm just gonna cut out, like, the first hour. It's gonna be like a 30-second long podcast where we talk about Shelter and just, like, how shit it is. And then that's it.
We can make 2 versions of it. The one that's on topic and the one that's off topic. So, like, if they want to be like, alright, I want to know what they feel about his short films. And then it's like, alright, we're going to fuck off. And then there's the one that's like, the short film that's actually a long film. Call that the podcast. That's the name.
This could become a feature film, similar to my podcasts with David, that have yet to be released.
Yeah, shit, we need to release those. Yeah, short films. Hey, how we doing?
But there is one other thing that I just want to touch up upon before we get into the main meat of this, and that is that, like, a little while ago, I went out on a pub crawl with one of my friends, the pub crawl with DJ Cider and Digibro, and we went to this pub called the Phoenix, which I've talked about, I think, before on, drinking milkshakes in our big red car with David. And I was there, and I performed King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar, and there was this one guy in the audience, and he was just going nuts over it. Similar to the time when I performed, what's it called? City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2. It was like a different guy, but they were both going nuts over songs that I chose, and it was great. And I'm a really good rapper, even though my anime rap was kind of shit. But I hate anime and everything about it. Just remember that, kids.
Yeah.
So short films. Let's talk about them.
You know what we should do also, if we get a chance? I can probably capture the video of it, but we could watch some short films if we wanted to.
We
do
could.
Some commentary. I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun to me.
Look, I think we've all seen this video, but I want to count it as an anime short film. It's Best Manga Ever, Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, by Best Guy Ever.
Is it a short film?
It's
like a manga video thing, an MAD, whatever that stands for.
It's an MMV, manga music video.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's set to Wonderful Every Day by Ziggy Marley, aka the theme for the Arthur cartoon.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, far better than any anime ever produced by the Japanese. I must say so myself.
When you find out that Arthur's the best anime. And it's just the fucking fist.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
I love my American animes and JRPGs, and I hate anything produced in the East. That shit doesn't fly.
I'd like to comment that I had to say the fist part for you guys to actually get the fucking joke, and I was just sitting there, I was like, come on, guys, get with it.
Look, I remember I was in one of my Viva examinations at university, and the teacher was like, so why do you always hate your own like artwork so much? And I said, it's just that Arthur Fist meme. And they were like, what the fuck is a meme?
Oh, God.
I'm being taught by like 60-year-old like painter people who are like, ah, yes, I only enjoy the high arts. Meanwhile, a true patrician, is relegated to the school of the lower arts, because apparently anything that's done on a computer is automatically shit to these people. Yeah, it's really cool.
Man, if I don't shit on the canvas and like smear it a little bit each time and move the picture, it's not real art. Alright, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Berserk 2017, best short anime ever.
Yeah.
They don't understand true art. They really
true.
don't. What the fuck am I talking about?
So I was in this is actually related to animated short films. I was in class, and I'm in an animation course, of course, because like my major is, you know, animation and video art. And there was this one girl in the class, and they were playing this, and she just got so triggered by this short film. It's called The External World. And she was just, like, fucking crying in the middle of class because of how triggered she was over it. And I was like, ha! Take that, swidges! Take that, S-juice!
Like bad triggered? And, yeah, also, what is a swidge? What?
It's an S-ju and SJW.
Oh.
I'm done. And I'm done.
Social warrior of justice.
Social warrior of
Well, I guess we're watching the External World together, guys.
But so, like, I saw this girl get just so triggered, and I was like, fam, if I showed you, like, half the shit that I watched, like, if I showed you the first scene of End of Ava, you would get way more triggered than this, right?
So, as in, like, she was offended by this short.
Yeah,
like,
she was, like, super offended by it.
How come? Could you sort of describe this short to us?
Okay, so it's called The Examic World. It's by some, like, British dude. And it's just, like, a series of, like, weird, interconnected things of, like, people hallucinating and shit. And there's, like, this scene where, like, some like moe advertising characters, like what you would find in like a fucking crane game and shit, they're like fucking, and it's really hilarious, like,
right.
And they're like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 4 years old, but technically in my in our like, they're both moe, like, advertising characters. But, like, to them, being 4 is like being 60 to us, right? And she was just like, why are they depicting underage sexuality? I'm so triggered! And I was like, fam, you have told me before that you have watched Ava. What the fuck about that makes this shit different? Right? Because Ava is a bunch of 14-year-olds, like, you know, getting sexy about each other, you know? What makes it different? This is more acceptable within the confines of the narrative than it is in Ava, you know? I'm just, like, confused by why they got so triggered over it, but yeah.
So, I'm just making this clear, this is The External World by David O'Reilly, correct?
That's it,
Oh, dude, fucking David O'Reilly. He's the guy who did this one episode of Adventure Time, didn't he?
Yeah.
A Glitch is a Glitch. Yeah, I've also seen his shorts. He is also, I think, like, the art, like, the creator of the art from the game Everything, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with his work.
Yeah, no, he's, like, super good.
Yeah, I actually love his style. He's actually a big inspiration for my own sort of style in my animations and such, which you'll see in August, because that's when everything's due.
Yeah. The teacher got really confused when I described his work as very webgen in terms of the narrative structure, and she was like, what the fuck does webgen mean? And I'm like, it's made in the internet era. It describes the broadest spectrum of things.
It is kind of an obscure term, though. Like just, especially someone outside of,
I didn't fucking know
especially someone outside of the internet. I can't blame her. Or him.
Yeah, her. It's a her. she's had like 20 years like actual like experience in industry and stuff. And so like I guess webgen is kind of a weird term for like someone who's, you know, in their like 60s and like has worked, you know, in the industry for a very long time. But all of David O'Reilly's work is really good. Like,
and sort of gross. Like he's good at this weird, like, cutesy but really grotesque kind of imagery, because like all of his designs are like just very soft in color, and you know, and do like really adhere to this sort of, you know, design in animation where everything looks appealing, except he uses these sort of grotesque colors, and just really fucked up imagery, frankly.
Yeah, they look kind of uncanny as well a lot of the time.
And also
like,
his method of animation is I can't know for sure, but it's either just sort of restricted frame rate, or he might actually like animate it all sort of by hand, like in stop motion, but just digital. But I think that method of motion does also add to the uncanniness. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, like from the examined world, I think that a lot of his animation is actually just interplays. Like, instead of going through and individually keyframing everything, he actually like focuses on digital interpolation.
Yeah, it's just like a lower frame rate, I think.
Yeah, and like the way that actually plays with like conveyance of like space and time, experientiality as we would call it in art history. I'm an art history student.
You sound like Joe.
No. Oh shit. No, but see, Joe is actually good. Joe is a good boy, and I wanted to call him out in my rap.
Joe from Pulse and Select, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good little bloke.
Just saying for the audience.
He's a beautiful boy. I love Joe. Yeah. Joe taught me everything I know about editing through like 4 tutorials that he made on his second channel.
Yeah, I actually went through those for my recent video on Oyasumi Punpun. Link in the comments, bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, was there anything else on O'Reilly that we wanted to go through?
I don't really know him, so that's me. I just literally learned about him from you guys fucking talking about it, and I'm watching this short, and it's a fucking... What the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. He's like his like kind of esoteric imagery is really interesting. Because it's kind of like an animated David Lynch, you could say. Is David Lynch the guy that did Eraserhead?
Twin Peaks and such. Yeah.
Like, you know, using really weird imagery to just like kind of convey an idea, you know. I once got called the David Lynch of anime YouTube on a live stream, which was pretty funny. Yeah, because like everything that I write is, I guess, kind of weird.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I do kind of want to touch on like a few more Western animated shorts. One that David and I especially have a deep connection to.
Oh God.
The works of Michael Cusack.
Yeah. I mean, it's hilarious, but also like, yeah, it actually is sort of interesting in a way.
Yeah, like he delivers really interesting social commentaries on the nature of Australian people, especially in Western Sydney and stuff like that.
Yeah. For anyone not up to date, he's the one who did the Damo and Darren shorts that got pretty viral. So,
yeah. Which we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, off recording though, I think.
Yeah, I think that was only off recording, yeah. But he also did a short called Yabby Hunters, which really talks about a specific Australian television channel, which is 7 Mate, which is the worst television station by all means.
Yabby!
From my understanding, it's essentially what the Discovery Channel or History Channel on cable has become. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like the Discovery Channel, yeah. Because like I grew up in a family with Foxtel. You can tell that I'm a rich person in Australia who grew up in the country. Yeah, so we had Foxtel, and like my dad is addicted to TV, and like he always has History or Discovery or the ABC on. Although recently he's become addicted to CNN.
Oh dear.
Because he's a swidge. Yeah, he's an SJW now.
Your dad. Oh,
yeah.
Your dad's getting blue pilled then. I was about to say
yeah,
red pilled.
My dad would like. Here's the thing, right? Back in 2014, my dad was the most red-pilled motherfucker on the face of the planet. He would just fuck bitches, get money, do whatever the fuck he wanted, right? And now he's the most blue-pilled guy on earth. He's just, you know.
There is something certainly very alluring about red-pilled dads, I must say.
Yeah.
What?
Was your dad red-pilled by any means?
No. He's quite blue-pilled, and I think it's the contrast that draws me towards these red-pilled dads.
Yeah, they're really interesting. Mirage, what's your experience with red-pilled dads?
This is my favorite episode now.
Oh god, I don't even fucking know at this point. On the topic of animation stuff, one thing that I think stands out as a really solid short that's only come to really being known kind of by the analytical community recently is In Search for Cracks, or rather just Cracks from Sesame Street. I don't know if you guys know about the Bedhead Bernie video, but...
Yeah, the Bedhead Bernie video on Cracks is incredibly interesting. Crack Monster or Cracks? Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but Joji recommended it to me the other day, so I'll check it out soon.
It's you know, as I never saw Cracks, of course, when I was a kid. I wasn't too big into Sesame Street, but watching that and then just kind of foreplaying myself back into being a little kid, I had nightmares for about a week after that Bedhead Birdie video. I don't know why, I just did, and I was like, yeah, I fucked myself over. God fucking damn it.
Could you fill me in on this Cracked business?
Cracks is pretty much it is a short animation that was put into one of the blocks in the Sesame Street, like, blocks. So, like, usually with Sesame Street, especially older Sesame Street, what you had was the live action moments with the mascots and everything. Yeah. And then you transferred into an animation to, like, teach kids, you know, like, here's how you color, and this is what coloring does. And, like, Cracks was supposed to act as, like, oh, this is what your imagination can do. But it just turns into this psychological drug trip where, like, it's a crack talking to you out of the fucking wall, and there's, like, fucking animals, and the girl is, like, riding an animal, and, like, it's not obviously meant to be, like, disturbing, but, like, it's pretty fucking disturbing looking. And there's been the thing that happened that made it so recognized was that it affected a lot of kids, especially when it aired, but the thing was is it only aired about, like, twice. And
yeah, no, it only ever aired once on US television. It aired multiple times in other countries, but only ever once in the US. And it really horribly affected a bunch of children for, like, months on end.
How so?
From the one broadcast. Like, nightmares and, like, all this, like, really weird shit of, like, kids just, like, going, like, really weird after watching it. Like, paranoid and shit. Yeah.
That sounds almost, like, superstitious.
It's, I mean, there are people that obviously have circles where they think that it's a pretty, like, especially with the nature of it and how hard it was to fucking find, like, up until, God, how long ago? Fucking 2014? And mind you, this is back from the 70s, I believe, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 1978 was the year that it broadcast.
Yeah.
Is Sesame Street that old?
Sesame Street's fucking...
Sesame Street's from the 60s. My
Street.
parents watched the premiere of Sesame Street. That's how old it is.
Wow.
I'm gonna make a concerted effort. Hopefully, you can cut this out if it doesn't happen, but to probably edit in video for everybody so they can watch them and see, like, what the fuck we're talking about while we talk about it.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, that'd be
here
cool.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, Cracks was actually found in 2012. It's just that the person had to, like, sign a contract and shit to, like, never release it. until someone else found it, like through another source, and they released it onto the internet.
It's a whole consorted, like, situation. It's a debacle. You should watch the Bedhead Bernie video when you get a chance. It's really fucking good. That's how I got into Bedhead Bernie, so that's me. I don't know. Like, you know, I know it's not an anime. That's the best anime I've seen. It's not obviously anime related or anything. It's not really even that short of a film. It's just like, hey, there's an animation and a thing. But like, I'm really into creepypasta and like especially just fucking creepy ass shit.
Yeah, I had that phase.
That's not like cheap. Well, like I'm into like the abnormal, like uncanny valley kind of shit, and like that's, I don't know, I find these like old folk tales like really fucking interesting, and to have like a story tied to an animation just makes it all the better to me. So yeah, I
only went as far as like Ben Drowned in terms of creepypastas, so I probably haven't experienced the best of them.
Oh, like it's all garbage if you go on surface level, but then you can kind of like, you can jump dick deep into like some of the really weird shit, and that's when you get into the interesting stuff. Rather, like, it's like, I know creepypasta gets this really weird fucking connotation of being just for like little kids that think that this is scary, but it really isn't, because ooh, the video game cartridge is broken. But like there is some genuine like fear. Like what's that one game? The one with the experiments, the fucking aliens experiments in the facility. S29
SCP?
Yeah, the one
SCP?
with like, SCP.
Yeah.
SCP is creepypasta, and it's fucking the coolest creepypasta. It's so fucking fleshed out. Before
because it's laid out as like files, isn't it? Like documents on the sort of contained creatures.
Yeah. And then like before the internet fucked it up, fucking, you know, Slender Man and like whatever the fucking name of the actual thing was, like
Slender Man and the 8 pages.
Hornets or whatever, I don't know.
Marble Hornets.
Yeah, thank you. It was actually pretty interesting, but then like it's just become, you know, like anything that becomes like overly popular, like mainstream popular. Not to sound like a fucking elitist prick, but like it does kind of cheapen the value of it a tad.
There was this one creepypasta that I read about a dude who got like these pills from like a website that like it would be like he'd never needed to sleep again, and like he did like tons of shit because he never had to sleep. He like made tons of money and fucked tons of bitches. But he started hallucinating a shit ton, and it was because it was eating away at his brains. And that's what made me sleep on a regular basis, which I no longer do. But now, you know, I stay up for like 36 hours, and then I'm like, whoa, the demons! And then I pass out. That's a legitimate thing that happened. So I have a weekly D&D thing, and some guys came over, like, the guys came over to my place, because my place is, like, the only one where we can scream really loudly about, like, drinking our own cum, and, you know...
Yeah, the
like,
boys.
Yeah. Yeah, the boys. But, like, there was this one time where I had stayed up for 36 hours before they got there, and I was just like, look, guys, I cannot do this. I'm seeing shit. And they're like, okay. And I just pass out, and they continue playing D&D at the table.
Yeah, Mirage, was there actually a short, have I cut out? Oh, okay, I thought I was afraid I cut out again. Yeah, was there a short related to creepypastas that you were heading towards?
I mean, I was rather saying, like, you know, well, I do like the Marble Hornets ones, definitely. Those are, I count those as shorts. So I think those are pretty interesting and entertaining. Honestly, I think it's kind of off topic, of course, but I think any kind of creepypasta media is pretty interesting. Just be safe, kiddos. Don't download a fucking virus that'll fucking just pop up on your screen. Because, trust me, that's a fear of mine. We need to do a fucking video about, like, fucking innate fears or just like
Yeah, we do
irrational
need
fucking fears.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys would not believe some of the things that I'm scared of because of childhood trauma and stuff. Oh man, I had a great childhood, but man, the film Ants has fucked me up for life.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah. You've
Like-
told me about this before.
Yeah, like as a newborn child, my parents showed me ants. Like when I was incredibly young, like, and I always had ants on hand. I did not get A Bug's Life until considerably later than Ants. And Ants has permanently fucked me up, right? So don't come at me with this like, oh man, DreamWorks is actually a worthwhile studio in existence. No, it fucking isn't. They made one good film. It was called Shrek 2. Even Shrek 1 was like garbage, right? But Shrek 2, that like introduced me to some great high concept shit, and that's why I'm a postmodernist and shit. But like, fuck man, Ants ruined my life when I was a fetus, right?
I love how literally this tweet that you made before applies. I believe it's pinned to your Twitter account at the moment.
Yeah, it's
It says-
the pinned tweet.
My life is what happens when you watch Ants instead of A Bug's Life.
It's true. It's true, guys. like, you know, I've met a lot of people at university who have, like, you know, mental conditions and stuff. And one of them said to me once, you know, I think you have depression. And I said, I know I do. And they said, but the way that you're depressed is different to many people that I've seen before. And I said, it's all because of the 1998 film Ants. And they said, what the fuck? Oh man, I love the people at my university. They're great for shitting on.
Oh, Joji, I think you didn't actually get into Yabby Hunters properly.
Yabbies!
You sort of went off track, yeah.
Yabbies! 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 Fuck Tony Abbott, he's a fucking cunt. Yabbies!
God
It's
damn.
just a great portrayal of Australian culture, really.
Yeah, Michael Cusack is actually, like, able to portray Australians better than most Australians can. And I think it's because he's more in touch with boganism than most people are, and yet he's able to transplant that with the nature of, like, regular people.
Yeah. And also,
And, like-
his art style, like, definitely sort of helps in portraying, like, the sort of basically grossness of, like, these sort of bogan types, really. Because,
Yeah.
he draws each individual hair and, like, these disgusting eyes and shit.
And, like, if you watch Damo and Darren, like, Damo's face has, like, these fucking giant scars and shit on it. And
Yeah.
it's just like, yes, that is what I've seen. Like, he has saggy skin and gross fucking facial hair. Yeah.
Because this whole conversation has devolved entirely into just short films, period. I'd like to also mention, like, the most, as we would say, mainstream of short films for anybody to watch is the Disney short films that play before the Disney feature movies and, like, stuff. I've grown up really enjoying those, like, as a kid. There's, like, Feast that recently came out that
Yeah, that was great.
that one was adorable, and like all of them just I either end up crying or I end up just being like, that's so cute. Why is it
Also, on, like, a sort of industry/technical level, it seems that, like, the shorts are much more, flexible in terms of, like, the medium. Like,
Yeah.
or, like, more experimental. Like, say, Feast, and also I think Paperman from a few years before.
Yeah,
like, the best
nobody
things-
shut
I
up
probably
about
like
Paper Man.
Oh, okay. They're just, like, probably the best examples at the moment of well-made sort of cell shading in 3D animation, and I'm really happy about that because we need more sort of dynamic shading. Well, not dynamic, but just more different types of visuals in 3D, because I think striving towards what do you call it? Photorealism is just kind of gay, because it's like once you get there, it's like, what do you do? But
Yeah.
yeah, I want to see experimental 3D animation, and currently these Disney and Pixar shorts are kind of doing that, so I'm happy.
Well,
Yeah.
paper.
My personal favorite. Sorry.
You're fine.
But like my personal favorite is Get a Horse. It was worked on by Andrew Chesworth, who is one of my all-time favorite animators. And if you haven't looked into Andrew Chesworth, I highly recommend you do.
Is this a short made by sort of Pixar employees like on their own time? It was in this sort of this Old West setting. Is that the one?
No, it was an official Disney one.
Okay, my bad.
It's like a classic. It's a classic 2D animated Disney short, which then is changed. So like it's an actual old school short that they then digitized and then made it break the fourth wall into a 3D rendition and 3D interactions with 2D environments, which is like fucking amazing. I saw it at Disney World for the first time.
Disney
World. Like it's Disney World. Yeah, so like last year, this year, last year, like around Christmas time, I like actually went and saw like a bunch of shit at like the Disney World at the Disney World Theater in Epcot, and like, yeah, they have a constant running short film showcase there. There's like fucking El Luna or some shit. Like it's one about the moon. It's really cool and experimental.
I remember that one.
Stuff. Yeah,
that one was beautiful.
Like, yeah, go watch the Disney short films. They are some of the like, I would call them the best Western fucking animations that exist at the moment. Realistically, if
that's the case, then I'd say you should really check out a lot of the CalArts final films then, because they're actually a lot of them are fantastic. I'd say
go check out Rebecca Sugar's one, because that's the only good thing that Rebecca Sugar has made.
Whoa!
Ooh, here come the dislikes.
All the good episodes of Adventure Time directed by other people. Masaaki Yuasa and like all of these other guest directors actually made good Adventure Time episodes. Rebecca Sugar doesn't know when to end a series. If you're a fan of the new season of Steven Universe, get out.
It's interesting because I feel like the opposite, but yeah.
We should have a
different
Steven
podcast.
Universe cast.
Yeah.
I don't know how much fucking Locke cares about it, but whatever. We'll do it live.
Yeah, fuck you, Locke.
We need to do a gem cast.
Our own gem
Just
cast
like
with our
we
own
did
gem
back in the
sonas.
day.
I feel like the Disney shorts are the most uncommercial part of fucking Disney. Like,
Yeah.
I really respect that a lot. Like, that they at least showcase this. So, like, that's their one way of catering to adults in the audience as well as, like, just the general audience. Like, is that they present these very median shorts before like a little kid's movie, so like the parent can like fuck off later and just be like, wow, Paperman's really fucking good, or just like, wow, that one with the little dog, super cute. Like I was just
the one with the little dog was, I believe, directed by Andrew Chesworth, and
Really?
it's really fucking good. Like, holy shit.
And like that's the one that's like, you know, the little kids are looking at the dog and they're like, what a cute puppy. But like your mom sitting by you's like, oh god, I lost my husband last year, and
Yeah.
just like it has for everything for anything. Like I'm trying to find a definitive list of Disney shorts, because there are like so many of those that just like I didn't even give a shit about the fucking movie at that point. I was just sitting there, I was like, holy fucking shit, that was I don't know how to feel about that. That was.
I remember the first time I saw the Red Umbrella. It was before, like, I think it was Toy Story 3, and I burst out crying watching the Red Umbrella, and like that was like fucking emotional as shit. Yeah.
Is it?
I don't.
Is it from 2013?
Yeah, I think so.
I've never
Yeah,
seen
just
this.
looked it
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And maybe it
I
wasn't
wish.
shown before, but like...
I was just gonna say I wish that when you pirate like Pixar and Disney movies that they like come with the shorts, because I've missed out on so many because I just download them.
Yeah, that's the thing about them. Like after you leave the theater, that's like the one thing that's worth going to a Disney movie in the theater is going and seeing the shorts. If you care that much as like an industry person, like you have to go to the theater to like really get the full experience, I suppose. But then again, that's with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that really pissed me off, I saw Moana while I was in the US, and they didn't show any shorts before it at the theater that I was at.
Huh.
No, they didn't. And I was like, man, I really wanted to see the shorts. And like, I could pick out Andrew Chedsworth's sequence when I saw it in Moana. But like, man, I just really wanted to see a short that, like, you know, he worked on. I really like Andrew Chedsworth. He's a beautiful boy. He's really good.
I'm really jealous of like people who are able to really pick out these sequences from like authors and stuff. Like obviously if like I saw like an Akiki Shimbo like sequence or something, I'd probably know it. Or like I don't know who else. There are like a few other people that
like if you saw a Takeshi Koike sequence, you could tell it. Like, you know, if I saw a Hideaki Anno sequence, I could tell it. I know that there's quite a few people who wouldn't be able to tell, like, a Hideaki Anno sequence, but it's, like, a specific way that he uses shading on, like, light shafts and stuff that, like, you can tell it's his. Like, if you watch Nausicaa, like, 50 times, you can tell, like, ah, yes, this looks completely different from everything in every other Miyazaki movie.
I'm just trying to remember, like... fucking... God damn it, I can't remember her name. Hold on. I'm grabbing it, but go ahead, talk words.
But yeah, like... like, I guess what really works well for short films is the ability to tell the uniqueness of, like, a given animator's work. Because, like, usually a short is handled by, like, 1 to 10 different animators. Like, probably one of my personal favorite shorts is, like, fucking... I'm trying to think of its name. I can't remember its...
Daikon 4.
Yeah, sure, Daikon 4, you know. Daikon 4 was made by 12 people, and you can tell each animator's parts from each other, even though they flow together like, perfectly, you know. Like... There's the part with the Itano Circus, like the initial part with it, which was done by, like, the guy who it's named after. And then there's the second Itano Circus, which looks completely different, which was done by Hideaki Anno. But the way that they flow into each other, it's a natural progression of animation. And then, you know, there's, of course, the... part of Daikon 4, which I cry when I see, because honestly, fuck, if you don't, like, get emotional over that sequence, then, like, you have no heart. You don't care about Sakuga.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Callum. I'm looking at you, Canepa, you fuckboy.
What, does he not like fucking Daikon?
No, I think he loves Daikon. He doesn't like Ava, though.
Oh, that's fucking weird. What the fuck? The person I was referring to was, I think, it's Yamamoto Sayo, who does the storyboarding for the new Lupin stuff. And then there's also...
she did the Persona 5 animations. Directed them.
She's fucking fantastic, and there's so much flair and style to her storyboards. Animation-wise, though, like, I don't know who exactly does a lot of the Lupin animation that, like, has been, like, the new shit, but that stuff is fucking gorgeous, and I just want to kiss him on the cheek.
That in, like, the Woman Called Fujiko Mine film, Koike did take up some shots himself, and I fucking came when I saw them. I jizzed in my pants, because Koike is the best animator other than Hideaki Anno, and Yo Yoshinari, right? Like, those three like form the pinnacle of human existence, and like in the middle of all of them, like their child is like Koyo Shinari, who's like, sure, he's really good and he does really detailed animations, but like what I feel about like Koike and like fucking Ano and fucking Yo-Yo Shinari is that they're able to like form this like narrative out of their animation better than like Koyo Shinari does. And that all comes to their utilization of the aesthetic persona and aesthetics hierarchies, which are now terms that are officially deemed by some academics in the field because of me. I made aesthetic persona the fucking term that academics use now. So praise me, please.
Yeah.
The aesthetics face their darker selves.
Yes.
Video games, people.
The thing about, okay, here's the thing that's catching me off about talking about anime short films is that while I think they're very important and worth like going and looking up, I don't know many of them because I find many of them to be kind of pretentious. I know that sounds like kind of dickish and everything, like talking about fucking how Disney shorts are like 20 times better than the feature films, but like it's hard for me to really care. I like the only ones I really care about is that one that like is the skateboarding one and fucking Animatrix.
The kid is its name.
The kid is
Billy
fucking
the Kid?
beautiful.
Some shit, yeah. That is a fucking great short though. I'm trying to remember the animator's name, but I can't. But like the wavy lines of it really reminds me of something out of like Ping Pong.
Yeah.
But like it's I don't think it's as good as anything out of Ping Pong. But like it's wavy fucking lines and just like the way that like it really integrates like background and foreground animation in a way that like other like shorts don't.
Oh yeah, this is the Shinichiro Watanabe piece also.
Directed one.
Yeah.
Shinichiro Watanabe directed it, but like some other dude like fucking animated it, and it was really good.
Animation is by Shinya Ohira and Shinji Hashimoto.
Yeah. But Shinya Ohira is like the one who did like the part where he's like grinding down the rails and is like on the staircase and stuff, because like he's just kind of like fucking turning into like dust of animation, and it's like super cool. Yeah, and I love it, and it's really good. You should all go watch The Kid. Holden did a review of it, but it's really shit, because Holden is like the worst person on anime YouTube. You know.
Oh, Shinya Ohira also did a storyboarding for a Golden Age arc Berserk, like part 3, which I'm actually pretty surprised.
I'm trying to think of like other animators who've done specific shorts, because I know that the director of Take You did like a couple of his own shorts on the side, and those are really good. They look like Hiroyuki Imaishi could have made them. And like, you know, that's saying quite a bit. Hiroyuki Imaishi has a very expressive style and everything. Even though a lot of it isn't all that impressive of like renditions and stuff, the way that he expresses emotion through like his simplified character designs and stuff is really fucking cool. And the fact that the Take You guy is able to like do that but with slightly better stills like really shows what I love about like, you know, his work. Yeah.
One of the shorts that isn't it's not a standalone thing, although you could make it, that has stuck out to me since I was a fucking kid. This is probably my favorite short, is the short about Oda and Ishii's backstory in Kill Bill volume 1, and
yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like
Who was the animator for that?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, I know there was a Japanese animator who like stepped in to do those scenes.
I'm betting $1 it might be Madhouse, if not Bones, but I'm betting $1. So let's see if I can find it really quick. It's just, well, Kill Bill for me specifically has a very, very special, warm place in my heart, and like that many kids my age shouldn't have a place for fucking Kill Bill, but I like Oren Ishii is like I love Oren Ishii's work. Not Oren Ishii's work. I love fucking Quentin Tarantino's work, and like how much like just beauty and majesty that there is in like any of Quentin Tarantino's films. But that's besides the point. Like fucking that short is fucking great. It's beautiful. I love the lining. It looks so gritty and gross, but also just great.
Is that? I think it's the same artist who did I think a music video for Linkin Park, one of their songs.
I'm trying to find it.
It's like it's very it's easily the same sort of style, and I remember hearing or reading something about like that segment in Kill Bill being the same sort of team as, or same animator as this music video. I don't remember what it was called though.
I know that the short specifically is called Oren's Revenge, but I need to find more on it. I'm sorry, this is a professional podcast. Oren's Revenge. On the topic though of like short films that matter a lot to you, David, do you have anything that like really sticks out in that kind of way?
There might be. But I don't know, like nothing really springs to mind, to be honest, but if there is,
I know something that matters a lot to David.
Oh god damn it.
Yeah? What?
It's called Shelter.
Oh god.
Oh no, we'll get into that. We will.
Let me find the artist for this, and then we'll jump into that balls deep. Because I should say it was Shelter too.
But yeah, I think in terms of like short films that have been kind of a big deal for me, there are probably several like Newgrounds shorts and like other just sort of web gen or YouTube shorts that have made a pretty big impact on me. I remember there was one, I think it was called The Man in the Woods, which I think was also CalArt's final film, which just had a really great style. It was sort of like reciting this little story of this one lie that this kid tells, which results in, I think, their teacher getting fired. Something like that, something really vague. But it just had this really great style to it, and I think just in general, like
There's a Man in the Woods.
Yeah, There's a Man in the Woods. Yeah, but yeah, I think as a whole, like the sort of Newgrounds age short films and a lot of the CalArts final films, have been a pretty massive deal for me, in terms of like inspiring my own sort of art and my own short animation making. And yeah, it's like I feel weird to talk about it because like I don't have a whole lot to show for it yet. There is like one short on my channel called Going Up, which you can see, but I made that in 3 days, so it doesn't really represent my skill. But yeah, like I said, in August there'll be 2 things and they'll be good.
If you look at David's blog, you can see a lot of shortcuts of character animation.
Yeah.
From stuff like Noodlebot, which is upcoming, and your animation of a caterpillar. And then there's also
that was just its own thing. But yeah, there is a second animation I'm working on for school.
And then there's also the one of a cat, which is really good. I love
the
David's cat sketch animation. Yeah, the sketch one.
Yeah, check out my blog. I need people following my art blog. It's good.
But like they definitely like reflect the kind of CalArts style in them, like regardless of like how you look at them, you know. And like, you know, I'm not the hugest fan of CalArts stuff. You know, a lot of like the graduates' work isn't what I like, but you know,
I can I suppose like admit to some of the criticism that I suppose they get of all looking very similar. Like there is a very clear CalArts / Tumblr style that you see in many of them. But I happen to really like that art style, so I'm cool with it, honestly.
See, I'm much more of an Osaka Arts class of 1980s style. You know what I'm talking about, guys. Yeah. I really love Daikon.
I just wanted to jump off of the whole Kill Bill thing. So, the origin of Oren Ishii was actually produced by Studio IG and was done in works with key animators Eiji Ishimoto, Hideki Takahashi, and Keiichi Sasajima, as well as a few other people. Masahiro Maeda, I've heard that name somewhere. And our boy Shinya Ohira, who's actually from the Kid story.
Yeah.
So it looks similar.
Yeah. You will actually find that a lot of animators basically focus on doing shorts. And like, you know, while Canopy can talk about like contracted animators that work on like TV anime and stuff, really the most interesting place to look for very technically proficient animators is people who just get contracted for shorts, because usually shorts have a budget comparable to like several episodes of a TV anime.
Really?
Yeah, like if you're looking at good shorts, they'll usually be like a couple of $100,000.
Wow.
And those are music videos and stuff like that. Because what they really want is top-notch quality. They give these people a couple of months, you know, like, especially if they're licensing a studio, if they're licensing an individual animator, usually, from my research, they'll give them about a year and about an episode's worth of budget. So you're looking at, like, these people getting paid significantly more than TV animators, which is why, like, when you're looking at something like Shelter, it's not that well animated, because what you're looking at is a bunch of TV animators who, you know, really specialize in cranking out animations quicker. And they were only given a couple of months, and it was 2 guys. You know.
Do you think the reason why Shelter just doesn't really appeal to us is because it's kind of... I feel like it's kind of aiming to appeal to a Western audience, but also still be anime, and like it feels so false.
I suppose like it does sort of feel like, I mean, I sound gay, but like a sort of a Westerner's like imitation of anime, because like obviously there was Porter Robinson's input in this creation of it. I suppose if you look into it, you can sort of feel that.
It just,
I mean, like, his reason behind wanting that music video to be animated was because he really liked Anohana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up, it's
like,
good.
Anohana is good, but, like, if like your if your view of like the pinnacle of anime is as Anohana, then I think that like there's more of a view that's required in order to realistically see what the medium's really capable of, you know, because like when you're working with dynamically lengthed projects, which Shelter kind of is, because, you know, there's a preamble and like a post segment, you know, what you really need to look at is other dynamically lengthed works, which would require research into stuff like Planetarian, the Reverie of a Little Planet. Really, really fucking good show. Go watch the Plebe and the Weeb episode on that for, like, more explanation into why it's really good. But, you know, like, if you're going to make something for the webgen, look at other webgen works. Or look at works that inspired a lot of stuff from the webgen, you know. Daikon 4, you know, Fully Cooley. You can look at these works, even though Fully Cooley was, you know, made as an OVA, which still fit the restrictions of television anime. You know, it's clearly very much taking a hold of, like, the webgen possibilities and stuff. Because, like, you have a lot more there than you would otherwise, you know. It's density of concept, and I think that that's the primary issue with Shelter from, like, my perspective, is that, like, conceptually it's lacking a like what a 5-minute short can do versus what Shelter does, you know.
Like, okay, here's my personal problem with Shelter is that in the grand scheme of things, as just a fun little music video and stuff, it's not bad. Like, actually, they put a lot
of... It's harmless, definitely.
They put a lot of work into, like, actually making it, which I know, like, we could piss on it all we fucking want, but legitimately, like, there was actual work and effort put into it, and it's not just, like, a crap show. Like, it's, like, not fucking Abunai Sisters in a fucking goddamn music video. But
hey, Abunai Sisters is great.
Shut up, Joji! I'm not gonna fight with you about this! But, like, my problem with it is that because it's so benign, because it's so fucking just market standard of, like, what is popular at the moment in, like, modern anime, it irks and pisses me off because, like, it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything, like, outside of itself. It's oh man, this girl, she's stuck in a place and she's doodling some pictures. Oh my god, where's her brother? Oh, the world has ended? Oh, everybody's dead? I think it's her brother, yeah.
I thought it was a father.
It's just some figure that's a dude.
It's a familiar figure. It looks like her brother to me. That's me, though. So
yeah, personally to me, like, the age gap makes it feel like it's a brother rather than a dad.
Yeah.
I think,
which also fits into anime tropes really well.
Maybe this is also me kind of imparting my new knowledge about rather Japanese connectivity and relationships as well, but it makes 20 times more sense too if it's a brother, because of maybe they're going through, like, a kind of emotional romantic subplot. I hate to say that, I know, but, like, there's a whole write-up on it that's I'm gonna probably do, but nevertheless, the thing about, like, I think the last half of Shelter is actually kind of interesting to look at this kid who's, like, going through her past and, like, this stasis that she has to go into, like, outside of, like, her reality. But, like, other than that, it's kind of just trite cry-bait, to be really honest.
Yeah.
Which I've heard the same complaint about Anohana, so...
Oh, I don't think Anohana is at all like that, though. Anohana has a lot of facets to it, and, like, a lot more fucking building on it. This is just... I'm stuck in a chamber. I'm living the Evangelion life, and I'm not enjoying it really at all.
Like, here's the really interesting thing about, like...
No,
you continue.
No, go ahead.
The really interesting thing about, like, the second half of Shelter is that it feels like a bad version of Baby Don't Sleep from Clipping. Like, a music video version of it that just doesn't understand what, like, that... Like, you know, like, it's this... Looking at human experience, you know, like... all black everything, you know, where it's like, you know, he's rapping Kendrick's Control verse over and over to himself until his vocal cords collapse. He goes back into stasis and he's falling in love with the ship. But, like, what you're seeing in Shelter is, like, this really shitty version of it, where it's like, oh, this girl's like, my life. I had a life outside of this box. Why am I trapped inside of a box? But, like... David's vocal inflection and everything is, like, able to, like, craft this, like, you know, aesthetic world from the sonic aesthetic and, like, oral experientiality, which is able to, like, convey so much more meaning than, like, the music video for Shelter is. And they should really have played around with, like, visual experientiality more. Because, like, the functional sequentiality of, like, two-dimensional animation is so much more possible than with, like, a still image, and yet the information that we're gleaning from this fucking bullshit is, like, nothing compared to, like, 54 scenes from The Tale of Genji, which is a still fucking image. Like, what the shit is happening here? Like, why has the medium which birthed fucking Daikon 4 and Evangelion. Like, why the fuck has this shit, like, combined, like, the 30 years of progress from Daikon fucking 4, why have we received such a fucking worse animated music video when, like, there's obviously good shit still out there. Susanoo 1 and 2 are fucking, like, decent as shit, but, like, 2 people to have made in a fucking garage over, like, the span of a year. Why the fuck are we getting this bullshit from a commercial group, right? And I'll tell you why. It's because of fucking white people. White people ruin everything, right? We ruined rap with fucking Eminem. We ruined fucking anime with Shelter. We ruined fucking cartoons. Anyway, we ruined jazz ages ago. We've ruined every fucking medium that we've ever gotten involved with. I hate every single white person. White is racist. There is no ethics in games journalism. Gamergate was right. Don't believe me? Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck everything.
I want my money back for this anime that's free on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree that a lot of Shelter comes off as very superficial, and yeah, just very tropey. It's just, you know, cute lolly girl, and she's in a pretty glass, no, not glass, she's in like this pretty grass field, and she's got technology,
Actually,
and she has a brother.
I want to talk about the lolly girl, because she was a bad lolly.
Hang on.
I like my lollies.
Okay.
She's pretty
I mean,
bland.
is there anything more than that, or?
No, you keep talking.
Okay,
I'll
okay,
explain
sweet.
my lollies later.
Yeah, I just wanted to bitch a bit on the musical level as well. It's just kind of a boring track, to be honest. Like, there's just, I mean, I just like zoned out and just thought I was Anthony Fantano.
Hi guys, Melonhead here.
It's a strong 6 to a light 7.
Is he gonna give it a 10?
But yeah, no, it's just like, it really just comes off as like as this very boring, sort of repetitive, like almost monotonous track, which is, I guess you could say, like thematically relevantly accompanied by equally boring visuals. But yeah, also I just wanted to say that, like, there's this CG shot near the beginning as she like flies out of her room, and it's really shit because A1. And there was something else, but I forgot. So
Well,
yeah.
My personal issues with it, like, just as like a music video, like, or is that, like, one, I don't know, like, if I was fucking wearing glow sticks and like a fucking furry tail and dancing in a fucking like club to it, like, sure, it would be a fucking great old jam. But like,
I don't think so. Like, it's not necessarily even a dance track. Like, I'm not really sure what the purpose of the track is.
Yeah,
And,
no,
like, and that's my problem with it. Like, cause like, it's EDM, but it's not like it doesn't have the D. It's just EM. It's electronic music.
but like,
I don't know.
sorry, I just need to interject with like
Go
my
ahead.
EDM experience.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, the narrative conveyed in it feels like a worse version of like State of Mind by Tristram and Bracken. Like that song, you know, has like reach up to the stars and da 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 da, and there's like violins and synths playing like in harmony with each other, and like there's something like being communicated, like there's emotion there, and there's not emotion through Shelter, right? It's like, sure, lyrically there is stuff happening, but the utilization of vocal inflection is like really shit.
Yeah, it's monotonous.
Exactly.
There's another song really similar to Shelter that's like because like it just totally mixes in with it. It's like, and on the way, she depends on you. She depends on you. I wanna know. It's like when I heard Shelter, I was like, oh, is this by the same guy? It's like the same thing again. No, it's just a different guy. It's like, like, I'm sorry, like, why do you like your fucking space lollies so much? Like, calm the fuck down, boys.
Look, I love space lollies. They're like my favorite version of lollies, but like, fuck, dude.
Extraterrestrial lollies.
You know,
literal ET.
Like,
literal ET.
Look,
just ET.
look,
Best lolly.
ET comes down from space, but is like a cute girl version of ET.
ET
Look,
help a Moto-chan.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm waiting for the anime adaptation of the classical film E.T.
Dude,
to
if there's a Japanese
beat
dub,
my dick off to
bro.
all of the doujins. That's what I'm saying. I want E.T. doujinshi where E.T. is a lolly girl. Please, someone, give them to me. I need help. This is a condition. I am dying slowly and painfully.
If I could segue from the point about EDM music and like staying to the beat, I think one short specifically that's not Japanese, so fuck you guys, but it's just animated, is the Mystery Skulls Ghost, and that is fucking beautiful and great.
Mystery Skulls.
Actually,
yeah, I have seen that.
There's another thing that I want to segue into. I think it's Caravan Palace is the name of the band.
And it's the video with like the animal people.
Yeah, like all of it.
yeah.
Lone Digger, the one with like these three cats, and they're like in a fucking like bar, and it like thematically fits with the song, right? There isn't ludonarrative dissonance there. Like, holy shit! Who knew? Who knew that you could have games journalism that was ethical, right? Like, holy shit! Like, right?
Fuck me.
It's like, it's rotoscoped animation, right? But like, it looks really good. Like, the way that the blood flings and shit is like awesome, and the character designs realistically fit with the environment, and like the way that like they're downing these shots of like milk or some shit. I don't even know what it fucking is. It could be cum for all that I care. But like, you know, they get into this bar fight, and it like perfectly syncs up with the music, and like the conceptual level of the music, despite like not having any lyrics or anything, like, you know, is able to be conveyed through it. And it's like, sure, there is no animation for like the Godspeed You Black Emperors, raise your skinny fists like antennas to the heavens, but like, you know, that's able to communicate something orally. And if you're able to, like, take an oral experience and convert it into visuals, then guess what? You've done your job correctly with making a music video, right? And if you're able to communicate something that's even more high concept than like the oral version of it, then you've done something really impressive, and that like realistically can be done like better than, you know, like, you know, you have more options for communication than just this, like, one very narrow view of things, you know? Like, if music videos were restricted to just being typography, then the best that they could ever, like, you know, reach to is a visual resonance of lyrical substance. But, like, you are able to create entire, like, short films out of, like, Cygnus Vigman Cygnus by, what's the fucking band called? The Mars Volta, that's it, you know? You would be able to turn that, like, that 17-minute track into, like, a really dense and visually fucking interesting short. And that's my key problem with Shelter, is that it doesn't communicate anything that the song doesn't, right? Like, I will shelter you. And it's like, whatever. I don't even give a shit about the fact that she's in this fucking box because some dude was like, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. I want to see what the limitations of the box are. I want shandification here. I want a world to be built out of the sonic identity. I want experientiality. I want artistry. Right? And that's something that we can receive through the medium of animation with minimal amounts of time, because you are able to contain identity in such small parts as a single fucking frame. If Yo-Yo Shinari is able to communicate the fluidity of human identity in Evangelion episode 26 through a 14 fucking second segment of animation, then you, for all fucking purpose, can communicate this idea through 5 minutes of animation. You can communicate far more with far more time, and yet you lack the aspiration to fucking do shit! What is it? Is it complacency? Is it a lack of ideas? Is it the world that we currently exist in that doesn't really cater to the artistic identity of a medium? What is the problem here? Is it just that I'm an autistic fuckboy on the internet who cares way too much about shit and has drank 4 cups of Pepsi and Kraken so far this night and is beginning to get a bit emotional over things? Sure, but guess what? I still care about this when I'm not drunk, you know, and maybe it is just that I'm obsessive, but like, I care about this shit. I care about the way that things are able to be communicated through the visual medium, right? And like, I sit down and I like put on something, you know, and like, I can get it. I can get something. I can put on Susanoo and I can understand these characters.
In the airplane over the scene is a fucking awful.
Oh, we're starting
on the screen. And that does so much more than Shelter can ever do. It's a true utilization of the aesthetic persona which Conrad Aaron Collins, aka Digibro, wrote about in 2013, right? It's this, what the medium is capable of. You get a whole different thing from just like viewing techniques, right? Because like, if you really want technique, then Baroque, you can end there. Because like, there's been minimal progression from there. But if you actually want communication of narrative and communication of identity, you need to keep pressing forward. That's why we have albums like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's why we have fucking, what the fuck's it called? You know, Mid-City and CLPPPNG and To Pimp a Butterfly. You know, we have all of these artists that, like, you know, give us more than just the yes, this is the Joji Mansplains podcast.
Is it okay with you guys if I like just put this screenshot on the screen?
It'd be funny, honestly, if you actually edit it in as like text boxes, so like it just like pops up on the screen.
Like, you know, I love the nature of art as something to be felt rather than something to be judged on a sheer technical level. Because you lose so much when you just look at technique. And this is something that I've been talking with people at my university about, right? Like, sure, animation in terms of technical progress should have ended in fucking 1940, right? Because the Disney animated films from there are some of the best showcases of fluid animation ever created. But if you want to look at the medium as a form of communication as opposed to that of just technical ability, then you need to look further. Masaaki Yuasa didn't rise to fame because he was a technically impressive animator. He was able to rise to fame because he was an expressive animator. And that's what I'm trying to mansplain to everyone on the fucking internet, right?
Sounds good, fam.
Yeah, even if animation is the pinnacle of, like, you know, what's able to be done, you need to view animation as literary as well as technical. Because there is literature within every single fucking frame. And I get really angry about this when people like ICBF and Josh Dunham fucking write off this shit, right? If you write off Cassette Girl because it's fucking CG, then guess what? You're forgetting what the medium is capable of. Cassette Girl is a short that I would put on the same level as Daikon 4, right? And like, I put Daikon 4 so high up because it's able to create so much fucking human emotion, and yet Cassette Girl is able to do that without the animation of Hideaki Anno, and fuck! Fuck me!
Alright.
I'm struggling to put this shit into words.
We're gonna tag
fuck is
team.
with my life?
we're gonna tag team out. We're gonna call you a 5 really quick, and we're gonna let Dave talk about our killing.
I'm gonna go to the toilet again, and I'm gonna let you guys.
All right,
speak.
we'll probably answer questions by the time you come back, so it's okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring up this little series that I discovered recently. It's called Trapped in the Closet. It is a sort of 24-part series, which is also like a song by R. Kelly. It is basically just a literal narration of a story, like kind of like a radio drama, except it's a song and it's the same beat for 24 episodes of 3 minutes each. It's the best and worst thing I've ever experienced.
So bad it's good, or is it like?
It's just really hilarious because every episode is just, and then he went to the phone and answered the phone. He said, "Hello, I'm on the phone." And the person on the phone said, "Hello, who's this?" He said, "I don't know. I'm answering the phone."
I love that. That's like my fucking type of humor. So.
It's called Trapped in the Closet by R. Kelly.
I already have it up. I'm already gonna watch it.
Sick.
Just
last thing.
Okay.
The ED to FLCL is really cool. To ride on Shooting Star. Somehow they've made this little motor scooter in live action stop motion just the cutest thing ever, and I love it, and I've been watching it on repeat like during school like every day for like a week now. I love it. We can wrap up if
Well, there's a lot we could talk about, like hopefully in the future, about specifically AMVs. I'd love to do a piece on AMVs actually, like with you guys, like, and talk about those, but we've been running for about an hour 20. I know we can go longer, but I think Joji's about to implode on himself.
No. I drank a glass of water. I'm a bit calmer. I've had a few breaths. You know, I've been breathing. And you know, AMVs are a wonderful thing, and I think we do need to dedicate a whole podcast to them. Because you can look at them as two different veins of things, right? There is the AMV as the representative, and there's the AMV as the transformative.
Yeah.
And AMV's transformative storytelling was a master's thesis, I believe, which you can find a link to on Pause and Select in the video titled AMV's as Transformative Storytelling. And it demonstrates the difference between the Western and the Russian view on AMVs, and how to convey narrative through the selection of clips. There's very much a difference between them. I think if you go watch David's Kill Lagan AMV, where he mashes up Kill la Kill, and
there's a mirror on my second channel to it.
Because there's a mirror on his second channel. Yeah. And I think it perfectly explains the visual sense of appeal that both of them have while using Ambiguous by Garnadelia. And, you know, that song conveys to me the appeal of Kill la Kill specifically. And by tying the two, you get this combination of identity, which is able to utilize AMVs as more than just a form of storytelling. You're also able to use them as a form of, I guess, analysis, which is something that's never really been touched upon. And it's something that I find incredibly interesting, even though a lot of people don't find it that interesting. I bring it up a lot at university, AMVs as analysis of story and, how you can play with narrative structure through the utilization of them. It's there's one AMV that I've always been wanting to make, which is, Sweetie Little Jean set to footage from Lane. Sweetie Little Jean, of course, by Cage the Elephant, off their album. Fucking Tell Me I'm Pretty. It's a better album than Anthony Fantano gives it credit for, and it deserved the Grammy that it won. But yeah, the way that you're able to communicate analysis of narrative. Yes, I will be wrapping up soon. The way that you're able to show analysis of narrative and narrative structure through the media that you create is really interesting, and I love AMVs as a medium because of it. And so I think that there's so much more that needs to be said about everything that we've been talking about so far, which is why I love and hate podcasts as a medium. Anyway, this has been the 7th episode of the Neotaku podcast. This was suggested by someone in our Google Doc.
Mutsuto.
Who?
Favorite favorite short films by Mutsuto, which thank you very much for sending in your requests. Keep sending them in. We're not going to slut shame you for sending us podcast requests like the procrastinators. Let's answer some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, get up some questions.
All right. So let me see. How much can popularity affect people's opinions of a show? What's your guys'
Like the
thoughts?
popularity of a show, or the popularity of a person.
I think how much can popularity affect people's opinions of the show? So like rather I'm thinking in the faceted way of like their popularity in like the community, like
Yeah. Like, I don't have an inherent, like, hate boner for Tokyo Ghoul, but because it's one of the most popular anime ever created, I hate it. It's the worst thing to get popular.
Yeah, I think when a bad anime is popular, it's just sort of salt into the wound. Like the fact that Re:Zero was like basically the most popular anime of last year, like made me hate it more than I already did. So yeah, I think
Yuri on Ice.
Yeah,
Like,
but yeah, I think it's just salt into the wound rather than like, well, for us at least, rather than like an automatic sort of hatred for a show.
Speaking of your most hated anime, do you guys have like a specific show you really hate, like despite the popularity? Like,
Bishoyo Yugi Unit Crane Game Girls is the worst thing to happen to the medium of anime.
I don't even know what the fuck that
What is that?
to be really
Yeah, what the
honest.
fuck is that?
It is worse than just being based upon categorical attraction, right? So it's an anime about idols who play crane games in order to save the world from giant monkey beasts from outer space, and it is the shittiest flash animation that has ever occurred, and I can't explain my rage against it. I purposefully sat through that every single week for 12 weeks, trying to figure out why I watched it. And the only reason I could figure out why is just because of the pain that it caused. It furthered me along in life through pain, and I love hating that show because it is, in my opinion, everything that is wrong with the medium of animation. Similar to the film Minions, similar to the film Sing, right? It's just like taking all of the potential that animation has and ripping it away and just making a shitty version of everything.
Yeah. For me, I think Re:Zero is probably the best example, though I will admit, Yuri on Ice's popularity, I think, just made me saltier towards it because, yeah, like, you know, it's the classic sort of overrated case for me, so it just sort of annoys me.
Really?
Yeah, but
yeah,
like,
Mirage.
what's your
You guys have,
overall
like-
most hated anime?
Your guys,
What?
your guys' like picks are really like focused, I suppose, rather on the popularity or like the social inclination of the show. Like, personally, from what I've seen, if I could think of a show that I really, really, really fucking hate, currently Arrow Manga Sensei, like,
Yeah,
but
that shit is killing me on the inside.
But this is speaking from being an Oremo fan.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fucking adore Oremo, and I actually think it has some actual literary context to it. But like,
Yeah, no, Oremo is good.
it's
That's the
trashy
thing.
koikaze. I'm going to just say that right now.
No, but like, here's the thing, right? Is that like I view, like the same way that Digi talked about in Anime Shit Now, is that like it is a deeply flawed show, but there is heart behind it. There is passion there. There is care put into everything. And Eromanga Sensei is the corporate version of it. It exists purely for the corporate need.
I think it does have a sense of humor, though. I mean, I've only seen 2 episodes, so like, I think that the joke of it all isn't as tired on me as it is maybe for you guys. But like, I found it to be pretty entertaining. Like, even if it was a very sort of cynical version of Oreimo.
I think it's rather that, like, personally, I don't like I feel like it could do so much more in the vein of Oreimo that, like, I feel like it's kind of missed potential, to be really honest. And then, like, maybe I'm also kind of just pissed off that Sagiri is a popular fucking girl because she fucking annoys the shit out of me. I think she's the stupidest.
Yeah.
Look,
yeah.
My all-time favorite narrative is based around incest, right? Evangelion is an incest story, and fucking Eromanga is how you do incest wrong, right? And if you want to do incest right, watch Oreimo and, like, take extensive notes. I care about incest. Please, give me more incest. I need it to survive.
Somebody asked, have you guys watched any pre-1960s anime?
Yes, I have.
The thing about pre-1960s anime that I've watched like a tiny bit of it due to, studying like the form of like sequential media for anime, that like it's really fucking hard to find. It's like ridiculously, you have to fucking scrape for it.
I mean, recently there was an archive released of anime from 1917 to 1940 released. I will link it to you.
Thank you.
And I'll put a link in the fucking comments for this.
Yeah.
Because it is an important fucking resource for people who care about the medium of animation.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think about the current state of anime, regardless what you think about the current state of cartoons, you need to look at these works to comment upon the history of them, because the nature of lineages there is what's really interesting, because you can see the lineage that Miyazaki comes from, you can see the lineage that Tezuka comes from, and by the combination of those lineages, you're able to see where Anno comes from, and where the current state of the medium has derived all of their understanding of it from.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this on my comment on Locke's video, how Moe is saving anime, but like the right now of anime isn't just centered around the consumed experience, which it was from the late 1990s through to the late 2000s. Now it's focused around a lot of the lived experience, which is where creators like Yamada Naoko and Saya Yamamoto have come from, where like their lived experience is incredibly different from the average animator, an anime director, because most of them are autistic males. When you have perfectly functional females that come into the industry, you're able to see like a whole new world of potential in terms of the consumed experience, and it's really fucking interesting to look at from a standpoint of the medium, and that's why these pre-1960s anime are very important. Hakujiden is incredible as a film on a standalone basis. When you compare it to the remainder of the medium, it realistically does fall off, but you can see the lineage from the Disney films, and yet you can see that combination of the Disney stylization with Japanese narrative structure, and that's the nature of early East Asian animation, and it's incredibly interesting to look at, despite no one caring about it, I guess is what you can say.
All right.
Oh, I just zoned out.
I think
Kill self.
So
I
I'm
haven't.
sorry, Joji, but yeah, let's agree no more 6 cups of rum and Pepsi before recording.
I have
from now on.
not personally watched any 1960s before anime, like before that point. Although, like, I have watched a lot of 1960s onward, like, mainly because a lot of the really early Maho shoujo is in the 60s, and, like, that's really fucking important for my work.
For my memory, like, a lot of Maho shoujo, like, the point where it really took off was, like, early 70s.
Yeah.
But, like, there was a high density of, like, late 1960s for the development of Maho shoujo.
A lot of the
as, like, a
precursors
style.
are in the 60s that are pretty important, like Kishi no the Ribbon, there's Himitsu no Ako-chan, Maho Tsukai Sally, and then you go into the pirouette days, which are the 70s and the 80s, and then it diversifies in the 90s and onward. But that's a video for me. That's another time.
Yeah. But, like, another thing that I just want to state about, like, lineages in animation is that there's another anime from 1963 which matters a lot to, like, the nature of both Western and Eastern media. Well, actually, there's two there. One of them is Tetsujin 28 Gyo, which is known over here as Gigantor.
Oh.
Very important, hugely influential to Guillermo del Toro. And then the other one is called Seinen Buraku, aka Hermit Village, and that one matters a lot to the lineage of triangulation in the face of anime characters, which is really fucking weird, but it's an incredible look at the nature of, like, how ecchi became popular, and, like, how there's a stylistic difference between anime targeted at children and anime targeted at adult audiences. Which we don't get to see a lot of in the current era because, like, there's a very clear difference in what's actually getting licensed.
That one. I'm sorry. So, to wrap up, there was also one other question that is make a forum page. We don't have a forum page, but I'm proposing that we throw in...
As in, like, Reddit?
Like,
or like
I think rather like just a way, like, for fans to talk to us if they really wanted to.
Okay.
I propose that we make a fucking Discord, which
I'm up for that.
Which I can throw in if you guys are fucking interested in listening to us fucking ramble on for days and harassing us on Discord. Vote in the straw poll I just made in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Red pills from fucking Sky. Oh god, shelter. That's a pretty good fucking choice. Yeah. Like, here's the thing, right? If you guys want a dedicated forum, when we start the Neotaku Patreon, we'll have that as a goal. Because, like, what I want to do is I want to keep us away from sites with actual moderation. Instead, I want independence in terms of, like, how we function, you know? Because I don't want anything that we do to become corporatized and, you know, like, looked at by, I guess, the larger audience of, like, bigwigs, you know. I'm hugely anti-elation despite reading their blog constantly, you know. While I do actually enjoy the works of LaShawn Thomas, I hate what he represents in the medium, right? And that's what I'm trying to point out, is that while I'm not against diversification of media, what I am against is it for the corporate need. And so you guys should give me money.
We'll make a Reddit if you guys fucking want it. If you guys want a fucking Reddit, ask us. We'll talk about it and we'll work something out. If you want to make a wiki page and we're that popular at that point, go fucking head. Talk about fucking...
Don't post lolly porn on our Reddit because that gets us deleted,
well,
okay?
If it happens, we'll have rules. But Nevertheless, if you guys want a fan Discord or some way to fucking contact us or talk about our shit in, like, a fucking community, there you go. The vote, and you'll get it if it's high enough of a vote. Anyhow, I'm gonna wrap this fucking bitch
on
up.
Twitter.
God damn it!
Yeah, so this has been the 7th episode of the Neotaku podcast.
We need log.
Despite being the 9th video that we have made, I have been here with David's Films.
We filmed and we filmed and we filmed away.
And Barrage Fan.
Next video is gonna be done hopefully by Thursday. If not, it'll be done by fucking Tuesday. Fuck you. Yay. And we need Locke next time. He's the babysitter of this group.
And I am far drunker than I was on the Miyazaki cast. Yet I haven't started crying. So, I think that calls for a round of applause.
See you guys next time.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Keep gamergating.